The most important thing, I think, for everyone to remember, and something I remind myself of constantly in this work, is that there isn't one Jewish opinion or one Jewish approach to the Israeli Palestinian conflict.
There are different opinions across the world on a conflict that spans for decades. The Hamas attack on Saturday, one Lexington rabbi says, was unprecedented. But she says she was lucky, surrounded by her congregation when she heard the news.
We were actually in services when we started to hear the news of what was unfolding in Israel, which presented us with, I think, a very beautiful but also challenging and unique opportunity in terms of how we were reacting and how we were talking about it in the community.
But for some of those in the Palestinian community, they say this is a revolutionary struggle.
I grew up to the story of my grandparents' home being demolished in 1948. They were forced to take refuge in St. George's Convent in Jerusalem, in which they raised 6 children in a one-bedroom apartment.
As conflict unfolds half a world away, they're watching from their screens, calling their loved ones and hoping for peace. Some community leaders say it's important to be mindful of the diversity of opinion and belief in the community. In Lexington, Julia Sandor, WKYT.